Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and today is the launch day of Whizbang's workshop, and I wanted to give you guys a deck from every class to try out. So we're going to suggest one for each class, courtesy of Vicious Syndicate. They put out an article on 40 decks you can try, so I will link that down below in case there's more you want to check out. And I did want to announce our giveaway winners for the 3 rewards tracks out of my pocket. They have been contacted, and I'll hear back from them in 24 hours. I will pick new winners. Again, thank you all so much for your support. We'll have a new giveaway hopefully pretty soon. Always do one for like the mini set and stuff, but we'll see if we can come up with anything until then. And yes, today we're going to try out, I'll be streaming over twitch.tv/Zeddy. The expansion launch is expected around 10 a.m. Pacific. I'll be on a little bit earlier than then, but we'll be trying out all these different decks, all sorts of stuff today. So you want to come hang out, I would really appreciate it. And an important note, don't craft anything. Do not craft anything yet. These are purely theory crafted decks. I'll have deck recommendations in a couple of days on stuff that's actually got some data behind it. But basically, whatever you open today, you could try and put together one of these lists, right? But I never recommend crafting anything day one. So starting off, we'll go with a pretty safe pick here, I think, for Death Knight. Horseman Rainbow Death Knight. That does not run a ton of new cards, but the ones in here should be pretty impactful in a pretty tried and tested deck in Rainbow Death Knight, where you have the usual stuff where you got your crop rotations, your sickly grime walker and all that, but you have some new cards in here. Starting off with, of course, the new hero card, the first ever hero card for Death Knight and the Headless Horseman. You get that 3 damage hero power, and if you draw the head, it'll then discover an undead. Love the rhyming, and it does seem like it'll be pretty decent. Dr. Stitch and So, the new legendary that's pretty hard to remove from the board. You get a 5, a 3, and a 1-drop, and they all summon in order, so that's pretty crazy. And then you also have the new just straight up good card in Rainbow, Rainbow Seamstress, which gets like the Reborn, Rush, and Lifesteal all in one for 3 mana. Really solid, and the main deck is still pretty much the same as it was before. Cheat out Giants with your like your Corpse Bride. You got Reska, Climactic Necrotic Explosion. The newest addition in here is Corpse Farm. It's just gonna be a big corpse spender, as Malignant Horror is no longer in standard. It kind of takes that place. We'll see how the deck does, but I definitely am looking forward to trying this one out. Next, we have a class that's going to be struggling, I think. We're going Reno Demon Hunter. We got Ziliax in here as a new card. It's using the twin and perfect modules, so like 2 giant lifesteal mechs for 9 mana. But overall, you're just trying to, I guess, outvalue, damage your opponent. You got CCG in here. The new Megtherodon legendary that you can possibly cheat out with an Umpire's Grasp. Not very confident in this deck, but honestly, there's just not a lot I'm confident with Demon Hunter this set, and I am hoping that Reno Demon Hunter will work out. So recommending this deck to try and certainly not craft. Druid's got the whole spell damage package going, so I'm going to recommend this Owlonius Druid deck. Basically built around trying to copy up your Owlonius, whether it's through a cover artist, which can, by the way, copy your Eonar. You're going to want to like Eonar, cover artist, refresh your mana, play Owlonius, maybe cover artist that, and then you got all the new spell damage cards in here, like the new location, got the bottomless toy chest to discover more cards, sparkling file to deal damage and get a bunch of mana back. No idea if this deck will work out. I think an Owlonius Druid will emerge somewhere, but this will be the version that I'm going to give a shot. And I imagine you probably want 2 Funnel Cakes in here to cheat more mana, but we'll see how it plays out. Next, we have a deck that I think will look maybe not exactly like this, but I do think will be really strong for Hunter, which is Beast Hunter. They got a lot of good new tools, in particular, Remote Control, Patchwork Pals, Painted Canvasor, Jungle Gym, Fetch, and of course, RC Rampage. All really solid cards. And of course, you got King Plush in the deck. You got some hand buff going on with like the Buzzer, Messenger Buzzer, just a really solid card. And yeah, you want to just stick the board, play a lot of beasts. The stats get really good, and even have Bunny Stomper in there to give your Beast Rush in trade off and maybe get some value. And Barak Kodobang, which is now in the core set, new free legendary to draw a bunch of these cards. So look out for this. This could be a pretty decent deck, and one I'm going to give a bit of a shot. Next, we have a deck that I was not impressed with in theory crafting, but I want it to work. We'll see how it goes. Spell Mage, built all around. You got your galactic Projection Orb, which can recast Sunset Folly, Yogg in the Box, your Elemental Inspiration, your Wisdom of Narganon, or Star Power, and then Spot the Difference, and then you got all the other cards, the cheaper ones to go along with it. No idea if this deck will be good, but it will be absolute madness, at least trying out, particularly Yogg in the Box, you know, getting Wheel of Death or something, or it could be pretty crazy. But overall, yeah, I don't know how good Spell Mage is going to be, but I'm absolutely excited to try it out. Next, I'm going for another aggressive strategy because I think Flash Sale is a really good card in Paladin. So we have the 4-mana Flash Sale, which like buffs your board. And this deck's just all about swarming the board early. Even our Ziliax here has the Pylon and Ticking module, so you're trying to cheat it out. It costs less for every minion on the board and buffs it. So that's the idea with that. And yeah, you just spam the board. You got the new card in your Tigress plushie, which is Divine Shield. Can be really sticky, hard to remove, and get that board going. And then you can play your Crusader Aura, go face. You can play Flash Sale. You got Leroy here to go face, and you got the new legendary Toy Captain Tarum because, well, it's just broken. It's such a good card. No, again, no idea if this deck will be good, but I wanted to give you guys some more aggressive options, and I really do think a Paladin deck like this could be one that works out. Next, we have Time Warp Priest. This actually showed promise at Theory Crafting. The idea is very reminiscent of old Quest Mage to me, where you have your new legendary in here, Time Winder Zarimi. You just have a bunch of like dragons you want to play, one Clay Matriarch, and then just some cheap dragons. So you get that active so you can take that extra turn. And then you have 2 copies of Gaslight Gatekeeper, which basically just takes your hand, swaps it in the deck, and redraws, which makes your Playhouse Giant, the new giant, to be cheap pretty quickly. And the idea is you play Time Winder Zarimi, you play 0-mana giants, you can get more 0-mana giants, whether it's Creation Protocol or Power or Chord Synchronize, and then take an extra turn with a bunch of your giants and just kill them, effectively OTKing them the next turn. Will this work out? Will this be good enough? No idea, but it certainly does have promise when you have card draw like Crimson Clergy, Funnel Cake, and stuff like that. This actually does seem to have a shot. Next, we have Pirate Rogue, which does not run the new legendary. You can throw that in there if you open it up and want to try it out, but you do have the other new, not the Pirate legendary, but you have Sonia. Sonia is like going to be in every Rogue deck. It's a broken card, but yeah, Pirate Rogue built around, you just got your pirates and all that. But Sonia can also give you a bunch of damage, whether it's copying up your deadly poisons, your Valera's Gift, which can give more deadly poisons, your 1-drop pirates you can get for 0 mana. You could Shadow Step stuff and do shenanigans. I don't know if Sonia is still going to be bugged at launch, where if you play a 1-mana Sonia, for some reason it gives you a 0-mana Sonia. I hope they fix that. I'm kind of doubting it. It's probably going to be like the first hotfix. But overall, Pyro looks pretty aggressive. You can get a big weapon, kill your opponent. I think Rogue's going to be much more just about building a giant weapon more than Pirates, but I gotta give the Pirates some love. Plus, Toy Boat is really strong, drawing your deck basically pretty quickly with your cheap Pirates or your weapon, the Water Cannon, which summons those Pirates. This deck looks pretty legit. Also, I think that looks pretty legit is Shutter Block Reno Shaman. I had a build somewhat similar to this, a lot worse, I think, where you just have Shutter Block and you have Hagatha draw your spells. You can triple up your battle cries with Shutter Block, and you got the new Ziliax in here again, that perfect module where you get the big lifesteal stuff. Is just super good, and you're just gonna go for a lot of value, a lot of battle cries. You also have like Wish Upon a Star, which seems legit, like it's just a mass board buff for all your cards. Can be really good. And Dr. Holiday getting Wind Fury from Sandal Art Elemental, yeah, it's pretty good. Those orange frogs now get pretty large really quickly. This is definitely a deck I'm planning on playing a lot if it ends up being good enough. Next, we have the Big Demon Warlock. I'm not sold on this deck at all. I'm not really sold on a lot of the new stuff for Warlock. I think Handlock will be really good. We have like Mountain Giants and all that stuff, but I wanted to throw out the Big Demon stuff just to, if there's ever a day to try it, it's today. So if you open some of this stuff, maybe give it a shot. Where yes, you have Game Master Nemsy, which is a good card in my opinion. It's just everything else around it isn't great, but you draw that demon, she dies, you bring that demon into the onto the board, you play Nemsy, you draw a demon, she dies, she brings a demon onto the board, right? Like it's pretty good. You could copy it with like a cover artist, but we got cards in here like Curse Campaign, which seem really slow. The new board clear though, table flip, absolutely phenomenal. And yeah, we'll see how this deck works out. I'm not really sold on it, but hey, maybe big demons will be like kobolds and actually work out. And of course, we got another Ziliax in here. We're using the Haywire and Power module just to get a bunch of stats, which is really good with like Forge of Wills, right? To copy that, get those stats on the board. So we'll see if it works out. I'm definitely not sold on it. And then lastly, I mean, Odin Warrior is going to be insane. Like Odin Warrior is great, but I'm not going to recommend Odin Warrior because it barely runs new cards. Try out this Mech Warrior. I don't know if it'll be any good. It looks pretty crazy to me. It doesn't even have Winter Boom in the main deck. It's in the ETC, which also has Through Felon Flames and Bot Face. But basically, yeah, play some mechs, try and cheat some big stuff out. Whether, you know, you got your chemical spill to get like a containment unit out, a bassist, testing dummy. You could proc their death rattles. Well, not so much a bassist, but you could proc the other mechs' death rattles with the new Boom Wrench, which is really solid, particular with testing dummy. And Ziliax in here with the Virus module, which has Stealth, Elusive, Poisonous Reborn, and then Divine Shield, Taunt, Lifesteal. So just a bunch of healing that you can stick on the board and then have it come back. So that could be really good. Again, don't know if this one will be that great, but Odin Warrior is going to be nuts, and it's probably the Warrior deck you should be playing if you want to win. But on today, I thought I'd throw out some Mech Warriors. So there you go. Deck for each class to check out. Again, I'll link the Vicious Syndicate deck list suggestions in the description down below, as well as all the deck lists we got here, deck codes and all that stuff. And yeah, we'll be streaming live at twitch.tv/Zeddy around 10 a.m. Pacific, trying out all sorts of new stuff, what's new with the shop, all that crazy stuff going on today. And of course, we'll have our recap on it, all that stuff tomorrow. And then of course, deck recommendations a couple days later. So stay tuned, lots of stuff coming. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.